community. I hope you are doing good. In this discussion we will see different types of operators used in search domain, and in case you missed previous discussion about what is search method and how to use the search method, please check, link is given in the description. If you want to learn more about Odoo, you can visit the Weblearns channel. Under the home screen you can see Odoo 17 development tutorial, and this is the main playlist, and currently we are working on ORM methods for version 17 and version 18. Guys, there is one good news, version 18 already launched, and regarding the Odoo 18 development, you can still refer this Odoo 17 development. There is no any difference yet for this 42 sessions, right? And in case there is a difference between version 17 and 18, I will give you some hints. All right, and guys, if you didn't subscribe this channel, please subscribe, it's help me a lot. So let's back to our main topic. What is different types of operators we can use in the domain, right? In a previous session we already talked about the search method, right? In the student profile you can see here we used here wschool, we used here the custom method, and we are using here different types of searching ways, right? Now let's talk about a little bit different. You can see here we are passing here a blank list. That means we are getting all the records from the database, right? But now we are trying to also add a specific condition, so that condition we have to apply as a domain. So for that we have to provide one list like this. In a bracket there is a one condition we have to use. So for here, like, we have to pass in the tuple 3 parameters, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so the first parameter is the field name, right? The second parameter, obviously we have to use here the operator, which type of condition we have to use. So let's say condition, okay, and here like we have to use the field value, the matching value, right? So this is the way we can use. There is a one more thing is, in case you want to search multiple conditions, right, you can here use like this. So for example, let me give you a straightforward select query. Okay, so let's say select star from, let's say, school, where amount, the amount field we already have in the school for the specific student. Okay, here I just added a simple float field. So you can see here the where condition we are using, right? In case there is a more than 1000 amount is there for the specific school, right, it's give us list of records, right? So this where condition, you can see this is the domain. So after you can see, right, 3 parameter we have to pass, 1, 2 and 3. So same here we have to pass this parameter to apply the where condition in the search domain. Okay, so how many operators are there, and what is the purpose of each operator, we will see in this discussion. We will see also how to do a join query, right, and logical operators we also cover in this discussion. So first thing is the equal to. Okay, so what does that mean? Like, let's say I want let's say the amount should be the 1000, let's say. So that means we have to use something like this, like select star from school where amount equal to 1000, right? So all the schools list I'm getting which having amount equal to 1000. So for that we can use here, let's say, records self dot search, right, and simple we can use here amount equal to 100. Okay, if you see here in the student, in the school list, you can see here we have a 24 total records for this school, you can see we have 5 different schools which having the amount as 100, right? So right now, what is the purpose? So that's the reason, like I'm using here amount equal to 100. I'm just storing the records because you can see here I just created this method printable. It shows us here the total records. It's give, like here I have added one header part, and here like all the records I'm trying to iterate to print the data, okay, from this output. So simple, I will use here self dot print table, and simple I will pass here the records. Now I will try to restart the service. Let me refresh the screen here. Sorry, clear the logs, and let me open this any of the record. And this is the button click. So this is the button which is registered this method, custom underscore method. So this method automatically call, right, once I click to this button. So once I click, you can see here total 5 records found. That is true actually, because we already saw in the front end side, right? And the ID, the name, and the amount you can see here. So this is the equal to operator. So equal to operator is not only working with the integer or float, it's also working with the many to one field, also let's say string operator, like that. So let's say, let me open here something like this, and name. So name equal to web, right? And here name equal to web. So you can see here the difference between these two, right? This web and this web both are the different. Why? Because you can see here W is the capital here, and W is here in the last query is the smaller one, right? Now you can see here. Let me comment it out, or else like output would be the very long. So once I click here, sorry, so in this name field I have to use so let me click here, and now you can see total 1 record found. The ID is 64, and you can see the web exactly the name matching, right? And in the second query, I mean this one, you can see the web is different, right? You can see, if you see here, the 64 and 70 both record having a different name, right? Because it's a cache sensitive. So if you are finding a specific string, right, so you can use here like equal to. Okay, so this is the first case, sorry, the second case, right? Now let's talk about a different thing here. Let me go to again in the integer. So here integer I'm trying to add here 0. Okay, let me restart the service. You can see here we have a different types of 0 records, right? Surprisingly, if I will press this button, you can see only 1 record found. This is very strange, right? You can see here we have a multiple records, you can see, with the 0 amount. Then why like I'm getting only 1 record? The answer is in the backend side, right? In the specific column, this amount column, it's automatically it's stored a null value. So null is not a 0. So that's the main reason here you are getting only 1 record. So here is a little hack, right? If you don't want to add as a null, right? So by default you can add here 0 value in the specific amount. So while it's create a new record, So it's always add a 0, not the null. Okay, so it's also impact your search query. All right, so now let's another thing. If you use here false, okay, and once you click here, now you can see you are getting a 16 records with the null column, right? See, so that is the difference here. Now the thing is, for example, you want to search all the records from the specific field, I mean the column, right? So in that case, you can use another operator which is equal to and question mark. So what it does is, let's see. Once I click, you can see total how many record is here, 24, right? If you go to here, you can see it's written 24 records. Might be you have a question why it is not written 16 orders only. The thing is, this operator if you are using and if you are passing here false, so that means whatsoever condition we are applying here for the specific amount, it's also checking the null value, right? Then after it's checking the existing value, I mean like 100, you can see here the -1, the specific 0, right, and the null data. It's checking all the data and it's written true. So that means it's also consider false or none. It's written all the values. If you are passing false or none, okay, this is the one condition. Let me give you one more example here. Let me clear all the logs. Once I click here, you can say still you are getting 24 records. I mean all the records you are getting here, right? Now if you are passing here 100, so that means it's only checking equal to 100. Okay, let me clear the logs. Click, and now you can see total 5 records found. So it's checking a particular data type here now, the value here. Okay, let's say if I'm changing here 100 to 0, right? So comment out like how many records we will get here in the output, 16 or 17, or let's say 1, right? Now you can see it's a 1, right? Why? Because out of 17 records, you can see here all are the 0, but only the one specific record which is 12, it's having a physically 0 value in the column, I mean in the database side. So that's the reason it's checking 0. If I'm using here false or let's say none, so that means I'm getting all the values. It's not checking any specific type, I mean the none or the false. It says okay, give me all the values from this, whatsoever value we are provided here in this field, it's automatically marked as true if we will provide here false or none. Now in case we had provided like a specific value, so it's only checking that specific value, and in this case it works like as a equal to operator like this. So there is no any change if you are using like this or if you are using like this. But let's say in this case, you can see if we use here false, that means this operator we are getting only 16 record, right? But in this case, if we are using like false, we will get all the records. it's not match with this particular column as column's value. Okay, so that is the main difference between equal to question mark and the equal to. Now let's talk about further. Well, here I just gave you the idea about integer value. It is not necessary you can use here only the integer value, but you can also compare with the string value also. Okay, here let's say greater than. So this is greater than is specifically used for the integer, float, or let's say monetary field. So let me copy to save our time. So let's say if I want to get all the records greater than 0 amount. Let me clear. Let me click, and you can see only 6 record found. You can see that's the beauty, right? If I'm saying here -5, once I click, you can see total 8 record is found. You can see here still it's not calculate, it's not consider none as a 0 here, so you are not getting those records. Okay, you can see here 100, like 5 records for the 100, -1, 0 and 33, so total 8 record retrieved. So this is the purpose of the greater than. Let's talk about, I want to also let's clear. I want to also, you can see first, let's see the result. Total 7 record is found, right? -1, it's exclude from this condition. But let's say if we want to add this -1 also, so for that we can use here another operator, greater than, equal to. Okay, once I click here, and now you can see total 8 record is found, including -1. So that means whatsoever we are searching here, right, with the greater than, whatsoever we are providing the value, it should be more than this one, and after it's written the record set. So here it's a different one, it's also equal to this or greater than this -1, whatsoever the value is there, it's retrieve the record set. So that is the main purpose of the greater than and equal to. Let's talk about a similar one but less than. Okay, so less than means, let's say less than 100. Okay, so what is the output? How many records we will get here? Comment it out. Okay, so let's see the result. So only 3 records. Why? Because it's exclude all the 5 records, right? Because we are using less than 100. So, and yes, obviously it's also exclude the null column. So let me show you the null column, might be you will confuse here. Let's say terminal. Select ID, amount from wb.school. Now you can see here, this is the blank one, right? The amount field. You can see 24 record is found, 13, 17, ID is here, but the amount is blank, null, right? So this is the main thing what I'm talking about here while the searching. It's exclude this search feature. So that's the reason my recommendation is use here default equal to 0. So it's also consider in the search bar, or else you have to use this operator, to get all the fields. Okay, now let's say here you can see total 3 record is here, right? Let's say if I'm using here less than equal to, and let's say 100, so that means the result would be 8 records. Okay, see, because it's include 100 and the lower amount. So here in this case you can see equal to and less than 100. So total 8 record is found, right? Now let's talk about a very different concept, which is not equal to. So what does that mean? Like not equal to 100. So it's searching the data, I mean this column, this amount is not 100, fetch me all the data. So here in this case, guys, give me the simple figure, how many records we will get. So let's here click, and now you can see total 19 records we found. So this search query also include none. See, so basically, like let's say if you want to exclude a specific amount, right? So that means you have to use not equal to. Not equal to is not only using for the specific integer type or float type, it is also used in the string value. Okay, so for example, let's name web. Okay, so you can see here again, guys, give me the output, what is the number of record set we will get. So once I click here, now you can see here total 23 records, right? Why? Because it's checking only the specific web one, but it's in the capital. If you see here the list view, so it's only exclude this 64 ID, the web, this record, and rest we will get all the record set. It's not exclude with this web also because it's a cache sensitive. Now might be you have a question like what to do with the cache sensitive, right? I have to also exclude this part, or let's say this one, or let's say I have to also exclude prefix or postfix with the web. So don't worry, I will give you all the answers till end of this session. Okay, so right now you have to focus only about the not equal to operator. So let me comment it out. So you can see here we use here greater than equal to, less than equal to, not equal to, and here this operator and equal to operator, right? Now let's check a specific record set to check a multiple records. Okay, so for example, I want to use here like Weblearns. So here in this case we have to use in operator. So in operator means you have to pass here a multiple values. Okay, it's in the integer format or it is in the string format. In both cases it works fine. So for example, I want to search name field and it's include the web name, the capital web name, the small web name, and the Weblearns. For example, let's see here. We don't have the specific Weblearns here. What we have is, let's say ABC school, and you can see XYZ school. So let's say XYZ school. We have to also match this name or else it won't be work. Okay. So now let's say, let me restart the service. Let me click to this button. Now you can see we are getting 3 records, right? If you have a list or tuple which having any data type, right, which whether it is a string or whether it is an integer, it would be work very fine using the in operator. So basically it's a searching multiple records, right, using the in operator for the single field. For example, let's say if we are not using the in operator and we have to search 3 different names, so what we have to do is we have to use a multiple condition here using the equal to operator. Right, this is the first condition, this is the second condition, and this is the third condition, like this. Okay, so this is the first condition. You can see here the same field, we have to search here 3 different ways, but we have to also write down the 3 different equal to operator with the same field name, right? So instead of using like this, why we are not using the specific operator which is in, which is very easy, right? And another and special one is, it's, let's say for example, if you want to exclude this one, right, so what you are using here is the not in operator. So simple, we have to use here not space in, so that means it's exclude this name and return all the record set. For example, once I click here, you can see all these 21 records found. But you can see here it's exclude web, capital, web, small, and XYZ school, right? Total is 21. And if you see here, the in operator, so it's only return the specific condition match like this. Let me comment it out. And here again, let's say if, for example, you can use like this to get the same result. Okay. See, total 21 record found. Instead of using like this to complex the query, it's better we can use the smart operator which is provided by Odoo, right? Not in. So now you understood about in and not in, right? Well, here I just added something like this, but let's say if I'm exclude 0 and the false, it's also working fine with the integer value. You can see total 7 record is found, right, excluding false and the 0. So when to use in and not in? Well, if you have a more than one condition to match, right? Here in this case, like I'm using 3, 1, 2 and 3. For example, if I'm using 2, it's okay, we have to use in. For example, if we are using only one, right, in this case we have to use the equal to operator. Or let's say not in. So more than one value we have to match with the specific field. In this case we can use here in or not in. Okay, now let's talk about a specific condition, which is, let's say, web in a capital and web in a small. How should I search with the particular query? Let's say in this case, if I'm searching the XYZ, so it's written me the specific record, the whole record, XYZ school. It's also searched the full name. If I'm providing in the searching is XYZ, it's written the whole record set. How it is possible, right? Yes, it is possible using the like operator. Okay. So let's say name like XYZ, right? And here let me restart the service. Once I click here, you can see I'm getting the record set, right? If I'm using here the web, right, and once I click here, you can see still I'm getting only one record. You can see web, but the difference is here we having a web but in the capital, but what we are searching is web as a small, so it's also exclude this part, this web record. In case if I'm using here web, W is the capital, right, and now you can see the result. So it's giving me all 14 records. The starting is the web. Oh well, not the starting point, but if you're using in the middle of the web, it's also searching. So let me duplicate web, and I'm removing this one. So total 25 record is here, right? And now once I click this button, you can see this record is also included in the search query. So basically it's finding from any of the string, right, and it's written that record set also. So total 15 record is found. Now for example, if you want to exclude the web, that in this case you can use here the not like operator. For example, I want to retrieve only records which don't have this web keyword. Okay, so let me also exclude this one. Once I click, you can see here 10 record is found. You can see here in the name, you can see you cannot find out the web, but you can see here the W is the capital, you can see, but here in this case this W is smaller one. But for example, if I'm using here the W as a smaller one, then you can see all the capital WEB would be automatically returned. See, so in this case total 24 record is here and only one record is excluded, which is the smaller web. So this is the main purpose now, and this is the one very interesting one, which is equal to like. For example, I want to search the prefix as a WEB like this, and after, like, whatsoever is the string is there, that doesn't, I don't want to care about the after this keyword, but before it start with the WEB, I want to return only those records. So in this case, we have to use equal to like operator. Once I click, you can see here, right, total 14 record found. You can see here all having a WEB. If you guys remember, we also created a new record which is learn desk web desk, something like that, right? You can see the last one. So it's also exclude by, because this, it's not started, this name is not started from WEB, it started from the learns. And you can see here, you cannot see here that record, right? So this is the main purpose of equal to like. Now let's say if I want to search beginning whatsoever is there, after we have to use here the web. So give me that result. So for that, once I click, you can see only one record found. The thing is, this is the last name of the we are searching here, right? But let's say I want to search whether it is in the first character or the first sentence or the last sentence or middle of the sentence, anywhere web is found, I have to retrieve all the records. So in this case, we have to use star WEB star like this. You can see it's include this record also. So total 15 record is found, right? So this is the main purpose of the equal to like. Now let's say here we used here the like operator, right, with the WEB. Now for example, it search with the case sensitive, right? In case you want to disable the case sensitive, here you can use I like operator. I like web, here you can add like this or like this. In both cases, it search this WEB result from the name. So in this case, total 16 record is found. You can see we are using here WEB totally in lower case, but you can see it searches with the uppercase result. See, it also searches the same name like this. So for example, if you want to disable the case sensitive condition, then you can use here the I like operator. Okay. One more thing is, let's say not I like. So that means I want to exclude the web keyword and give me the such records which don't have the web keyword in the existing name, right? So give me that name result, sorry, the records. So in that case, you can see here, you cannot see here in the name as a WEB, right? And total 9 record is found. For example, so this is for the not I like, right? And here if we are using equal to like to equal to I like, so that means we can use here like this, right? You can see here W is the capital, but still it's fine with the smaller one also. You see, it started from the web and all the data is getting. So total 15 record is found, so it's exclude this one. right? If we are using here like this, like before web, it could be anything and give me the result. So we are getting only these two records, right? But let's say if we are providing here another percentage sign, well, you can see you will get all the result including this one. You see the web is not in the beginning, or web is not at the end, or it's not the single web value like this. It's in between this character and this part, right? So it's also fetching this name, and total like 16 records found. So this is the main purpose of the ilike operator. Right, here the basic operators we are almost done. Let's do some advanced operators. Okay, so now I'm going to the, not the invoice, but in the inventory, in the location. Okay, you can see here total 19 record is found as of now. If I'm search with the this condition, the multi company, you can see total 24 record is found, and you can see here like there are few locations is available. Some is the parent and some are the child of the parent, and you can see here it's look like this. You can see the parent is WH, but inside the WH you can see WH stock. So stock is the child of the WH. Let me give you some insight. Okay, we don't need to deep into this inventory application. I'm just giving you the overview of the record set. Once I click here, you can see parent location WH is already selected with the WH, and this is the current records of the stock location. And like that, you can see here like this. If I'm going to this parent, you can see that this is input, right? And this is the input location. We also have the WH parent location. If I click to here, you can see here WH, but again you can see parent location is found physical location. Once I click here, you can see there is no parent of this physical location, so that means this is the main parent location. But in this case, this stock location is the model name, and if you see over here, it's also the stock location. Okay, the field. Now for example, there is a situation if you are working with these conditions, and if you want to get the child IDs, or let's say child record set, how you will do, right? For example, here you can see the ID. I already added here the ID field. You cannot see in your local system. I just added from this directly list view. So you can see here all the views available like this. Okay. Now the thing is, if I want to search what is the child of physical location, right? And the ID you can see here is the 1. So in this case, I'm using here child of, and I'm using here the 1 as ID. You can treat this ID as a, let's say if you are using with the dynamic conditions, so here it should be your field name, or you can also use like this, but I'm using here the static ID to give you the demonstration how the child of is work. Okay, now I also created a one method recently, right? Same like this printable. So here you can see id, name, and the parent. If in case the parent is there, we can print here, or else it's only print the id and the name. So for that, once I click here, oops, we have some error. Alright, so I think here I have to use location underscore id to restart the service. And once I click, oops, oh yeah, we have to also use here location underscore id. So let's focus here. Now you can see total 14 record is found, right? You can see id is 1, so that means the physical location, right? So physical location, you can see this CHIC1 location, which also have a parent location. Then after, this is the child location of the physical location, right? This location having also child location, so it's also getting here. You can see stock. This is the parent location /27 is the id, you can see here. Then after physical location, so this is the main one, you can see here. So total how many? 14 record is found, right? So using the child of, for example, let's say if you are using WH, right? So WH is the 7. You can see WH also have a physical location. So let's say if I'm using here instead of 1 to 7, I mean the WH location, I want to find out how many is the child location of this WH. So once I click here, you can see it's found 11 locations. This is the main one, right? But here in this case, you can only get the child locations, not the parent location IDs. You can see the parent is the physical location, but you cannot see this in this record set, right? So in this case, you want to find out a particular child location. So in this case, we have to use here child underscore of as an operator. So this is save a lot of time to create a recursive method to find out which one is the parent location and which is not, right? If you have a lot of records and you want to find out a specific child location for the current record set, so in this case you can use the child underscore of. It's save over a lot of time. And same way we can use here parent of. Okay, so for that we have to just use parent underscore of. So it's a completely reverse. Now let's say so this is the records, right? A is the record name, B is the record name, C is the record name, D is the record name, and F is the record name. This digit is the ID of the database, table ID. Okay. Now here A is the parent of B, parent of also C, but C have a D child record and D also have a F child record. For example, if you want to find out the parent location of this F, so that means the parent is the 9, right? Again, okay, that's fine. Again, D also the part of the C's child. So that means D is the sub. So C is the child of the D. So here you can see it's a 8. It's written also 8. After it's also written not the C, but it's also directly written the A. And after you can see A don't have any parent. So that means it's written 10, 9, 8 and the 1. So let's do something like that. Here I am also using the 7 as a child component, which is WH, right? You can see here, this is the WH. And what is the parent ID? The physical location. And again, you can see parent location, there is nothing here, so that means this is the main one. So we will get 2 records in this case. Once I click, alright, so I have to restart the service first. Once I click, so you can see here total 2 record found, right? This WH itself and the parent location is the physical location, which is here. Let's get like the parent one also. For example, if we are using here as a 1, so what is the output, right guys? You can give me the output, how many numbers of records we will get here. Give me the comment. Once I click here, you can see only 1. Why? Because there is no parent found. For example, let's say if we are using the get B, so get B is the parent of, sorry, the child of dispatch zone. So dispatch zone also have the parent location, order processing, right? Also have like WH input. WH input have a WH and WH have physical location and physical location like that, right? So let's see this get B, and what is the get B ID? 22, right? All right. So you can see here. So this is the get B. Get B have a dispatch zone. Dispatch zone having a ordered processing parent. You can see here. Still this location have input. But by the way, here the input location you will not get here. The thing is, input location is archived. Archived means it's soft delete. Soft delete means it's a deactivated location, so you cannot find out that particular location using the search method. There is one more way we can use the context, and over the pass we can pass here the specific keyword to get all, including the deactivated records. But right now we don't need to learn that specific topic. I already provided a soft and hard delete, you can see over there in the previous session. Okay, then after that, input have a WH, and WH having a physical location, and physical location don't have any parent, so that means this is the main parent location. We passed 22, and it's also find out all the parents of this child record. So this is the main purpose of the parent of. So parent of works from bottom to top, and child of works from top to bottom. Okay, so you have to remember this flow: child of and parent of. Now let's talk about very interesting topic, which is the join query, right? Now for the join query, so here let's say let me go to here. So this is the wb.school model, right? Here we have relational fields: invoice ID, invoice user ID, There is a one to many field, student underscore list, and binary fields, and my currency underscore id, right, for this wb dot school. So let's say we are using wb dot school model. You can see here a lot of relational field is here, right? School id, hobbies, hobby list, like this. So now what I'm trying to achieve is, for example, let's say here I'm using env wb dot student search. Here I'm using school underscore id equal to, for example, let's say 1. Let's say I'm trying to group by with the school. So one school have 3 students, right? 7 Weblearns DD2 Weblearns Odoo, okay? And the ID is the also let's say 1. Let me remove this one, or else like we will get the error message. Or let's say we can still have this one, but student fees. So this is simple equal to operator, and this is many to one field, okay? Once I click, so you can see we are searching from the student table, not from the school table. Okay, give me the school underscore id which having id as a 1. So you can see these 3 record we found, right? Now let's say I want to deep dive into the school id, like school name should be the web, or let's say we are using any of these operators, right? So in that case we have to use here, instead of equal to any, and here we can use again list of tuple name web, but in this case I'm using here the ilike operator. So that means like the school underscore id, I want to search the name, and that name should be the web, okay? And those schools found for the particular student, so I'm getting the result of the student list. But let me correct few things one more time. Okay, now you can see I'm getting a 3 result for the particular student, right? The main matches with the web in the school profile. Now you can see here, let's verify. You can see here we have like Weblearns 1, rec 1, 2 and 5, right? You can see 1, 2 and 5, but you can see the 1 or 3 or 4 or 5, or let's say ABC school have 4 students, right? Only this Weblearns like string found from the WEB only, right? In case, let's say for example, if I will search only the S letter with the case insensitive, so you can see the result. You can see we found total 8 records. So this is a join query. You can use here many to one, one to many, or many to many, that particular field name, you can use here any as operator, and here you can use here your specific condition. So, and here the thing is, here all the field should be from the school model, not the student model, or else it won't be work. Let's say if I'm using here let's say student fees, right? Equal to 0. So now you can see the result. So I'm getting this error message. The error message is said value error, invalid field from this wp.school student underscore fees. We can use here the existing field name of this school, which is the amount, right? Right now you can see total 0 student found. The thing is, there is no in school end we already have like a 0 amount schools, but those specific schools is not configured in the student profile. So due to that we have written, it's automatically written the null record set. Okay, so this is specifically use the any operator to join the multiple tables here. And yeah, of course you can also add multiple condition. Name, I like, web, and using here the or condition. Don't worry about this logical part. So it's a or condition. Or condition means, let's say amount equal to 0, or let's say name I like web in the database side, right? So don't worry about it at the moment. I will cover this part in our later session. Once I click, you can see total free recordings found, right? So that is the beauty of any operator. So let's say we have one more test case. Not any. For example, you want to reverse this search query into the reverse. Let's say I don't want to use the web as a school name and give me the student result. Okay, so in that case you cannot see here the web as a school name, right? So that is the main purpose of the not in operator. This is cool, right? I hope you understood about this join query. Now let's say we can also do join query with a different way without using the any or not any operator. Okay, so simple, we can use here a simple method which is like this. I like this. Okay, and here simple, we can use dot and the field name. Once I click here, you can see I'm also getting the same result, right? Let's say amount greater than equal to -1. You can see total 11, record found of the student profile, right? And you can see those are the list of the schools. Here what I did is, like, this is the many to one field, right? For the wb.school model, the name I have to use, but in between I have to use here the dot name. Plus we can also use like this, and I like web, and here I'm using name field. You can see there is no single record found, and if you compare here, all right, so here let's say so you can see here we found a web as a school, but amount you can see 0000 like this, but only this web have a 33 amount, right, the fees, but this web is not registered to any of the student profile. Here you can see, let's say let's assign to this one, right? Now you can see it's web 1, and now none is 0, right? So let's say, let me clear first this logs. Once I click, and now you can see we are getting the first student profile, which is DDD, and the school is the WB, right? So that is the main thing here. You can use the subquery like this way. I hope you understood about all 19 operators, right? Now let's talk about the logical operator, how you can use here, let's say name equal to web, or name equal to ABC, or name equal to, or let's say mobile equal to 1234, phone 12390, like this, right? So this is the first condition. The second condition is, let's say name equal to not equal to web, but I want to exclude not equal to web, or phone should be 10101, like this. Or let's say name equal to web learns, and phone is equal to, like this. So here you can see we have to provide some conditions. You can see here we have or condition in between fields, right? Here you can see we are using also not and the or sign, and here we are using specifically the and condition. So how we can do that one, right? So using the simple way, let me go to the contacts. You can see here 38 contacts is available. Now let's talk about here a simple condition. Okay, the first thing is the end condition. Now the end condition would be like this. All right, so let's see here. So for example, let's say we will search here the web. Okay, this is the normal one. We don't have name field, right? You can see here. So due to that, you can see here the none. But let's say if we are using Azure Interior, let me restart. So you can see there is a one record found, right? You can see mobile number, the phone number is this one, the mobile number is not available, and email is this one, right? Now let's say the end condition. Okay, so for example, equal to and mobile equal to false. So this is the end condition. If you are not providing any operator, logical operator, so that means it will automatically treat as an end condition. Okay, so let me restart the service. Now you can see again it's written the one, right? The thing is both condition is matched. The name is this one and the mobile number is the false, right? Now let's talk about a different, the or condition. If name is this one or mobile equal to false, like there is no any mobile provided by the user, so that means I'm using here the false. So for that we have to use, before these two fields I have to use or condition. So give me the list of those records which having a name Azure Interior or mobile is none, the blank, not provided. So you can see, wow, we have a lot of list. You can see 38 record is found. The first one is this one, right? And again you can see all the name don't have the Azure Interior, you can see here. But there is a one more condition is match, which is the mobile number is the false. You see, that's the reason it's written 38 records. Let's do some hack on the front end side. For example, let's say if I'm using here 890, okay, and once I click, now you can see 38 record is found. Alright, why? The thing is I used here the Azure Interior as a name, it's matched, so it's written this record. Mobile number is false, so that means you can see all the records having a mobile number is a false. So after 37 record found which mobile don't have, mobile number is not provided, right? So let me go to again another record and I'm adding here 1 2 3 4. Let me clear the logs. Once I click here, now you can see total 37 record is found, right? This is the match of the name and rest it's match with the phone number. So this is the specifically the or condition, right? For example, let's say if I'm using not, so that means name should not be Azure Interior and mobile number is the false. We have a 36 number. You can see here the Azure Interior is not here, right? And the mobile number is false. Now let's see one more complex query. Let's say name could be anything, right? So here I'm using false. After that, I have to use here the or condition. And the phone. You can see all the records having a phone number, right? Here this means like name is set and phone number is not set, or mobile is not set. So this is the or condition between phone and the mobile number, but for the name it's a compulsory, we have to check the name. Okay, so this is the main condition between phone and the mobile with the or condition. So due to that, like I'm using here the or condition before this phone, so it's apply for phone this condition or this condition. So let's see the result. You see 36 record found. It's written with the phone number none or the mobile number none, right? But let's say if I will switch this or condition from here to here, right? So that means it's only with these two condition. It's match like name should be available or phone number is not none. Phone number is blank. Now you can see here. Total again 36 record is found. Why? The name. If I will switch this condition, if I'm using here the or condition one more time, so that means from this output or from this output, it should be or condition. Okay. So for example, let's say phone number I like, let's say 255. Not equal to false. This is or condition for these three different fields. Okay. Once I click, you can see the result we are getting is 38 records. So all records we found using the or condition. Okay, let's say if I'm using switch to or to the not, so that means from here it's compared with the not and rest output it's compared with the or condition. So let's say we cannot found that any records, right? So like this way you can use here or not or the end condition. Oh, by the way, let me show you one more time. If I'm not using here any of the sign, so that means by default it's AND, but let's say if you want to use AND operator, you can use like this. So if I'm using here not equal to equal to, right, and now you can see we will get the result. So now you can compare AND condition, name is not equal to blank. So here it's a true, it's not a blank name. It start with the 255. Sorry, the value we are finding is bracket 255. It's here, and mobile number is not available. So you can see mobile number is not available, right? If we want to do something like this, email should be not or let's say false, right? Yeah, we can use like this. And let's see any other. So plus 1, so you can say plus 1 is the 3 records, right? We can use here plus 1. And now you can see total 3 record is found using the logical operator AND. So email is not blank, phone number having a plus 1, mobile, right, is always false. I mean the blank, it's not provided the mobile number. So this 3 condition is found with the AND condition, right, and those records we are getting. If we are using here AND or, so that means email should not be blank, and the phone number or the mobile number, it could be matched, either this one or either this one. So let's see. So now we are expecting more records. Oops, we don't have. Let's check it out. Oh, sorry, I used here not. So that means it's working a different way, right? If I'm using here or condition, now you can see. "36 records found," right? The previously not, right? The first condition is match, but here both condition is not satisfied. The thing is mobile number we didn't provide in the contacts, right? So is match, plus this one is, this record is also match, and we are using here not. So that means this both conditions should not be matched, plus this AND condition. Due to that, like, we are not getting any data. So I hope you understood about these complex sub conditions using the logical operator with different types of 19 operators. Alright, if you still have any doubt, please comment below, and see you in our next session.